The studio was buzzing with anticipation. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon wasn't just another late-night talk show tonight. It was a battlefield in disguise. The moment the promotional teaser dropped that Elon Musk would be the headline guest, Twitter practically caught fire. Half the internet was ecstatic, the other half sharpening their digital pitchforks. Jimmy Fallon, the ever-charismatic host, was in rare form that evening. Slightly more polished, slightly more nervous. He knew this wasn't going to be a standard celebrity banter session. The Tesla tycoon, the Twitter tamer, the space baron, the meme master, and Donald Trump's reluctant yet unmistakable cheerleader, Elon Musk, was about to walk out onto his stage. As the Roots wrapped up a suspenseful jazz riff, the house lights dimmed, the audience screamed, and the voiceover boomed, "Ladies and gentlemen, Elon Musk." Out walked Musk, casual but calculated. He wore a black suit with a charcoal gray turtleneck, blending Silicon Valley nonchalance with CEO precision. He smiled slightly, waving to the cheering crowd, then turned to Fallon and extended his hand with a smirk. Fallon greeted him like an old friend. Though everyone watching knew this was their first time meeting in person, they exchanged a few awkward laughs, but the energy shifted quickly as they sat. Jimmy began with small talk. "So Elon, last time we heard from you, you were making flamethrowers for fun and planning Martian cities. What's new, man?" The audience laughed. Elon gave his signature slow nod. "Well, Jimmy, I figured since Earth is getting weirder every year, I might as well give humanity a backup hard drive on Mars." Another laugh, but Elon's delivery was drawing, almost mechanical, and yet you couldn't look away. Fallon moved on to X, formerly known as Twitter. "You kinda own the digital town square now. What's it like being the sheriff of the internet?" Elon leaned back, eyes narrowing just slightly. "Well, I thought free speech was a good idea. Apparently half the media thinks that's a hate crime." The audience had a mix of laughs and murmurs. Fallon chuckled, but you could see him register the edge in Elon's voice. The playful setup was cracking. Jimmy leaned in. "So you're saying the media's out to get you?" "I'm saying," Elon replied, "that anyone who doesn't conform to their narrative becomes a target. I'm just big enough, they can't cancel me, though Lord knows they've tried." Jimmy smiled politely, but the banter was taking a turn. Elon didn't stop. "I mean, when I reinstated Trump's account, people acted like I released the Kraken. But I'm not picking sides. I just don't think Silicon Valley billionaires, besides me, of course, should control the First Amendment." The room got quiet. Fallon cleared his throat, keeping things light. "Well, you're definitely not afraid to say what's on your mind. That's why we love you. But speaking of Trump," a flicker passed through Elon's eyes. Jimmy continued half-jokingly, "You've been seen nodding to some of his policies. Are we witnessing a Musk-Trump alliance in 2024? Should I buy stock in red baseball caps?" The crowd roared with laughter, but Elon didn't crack a smile. He simply replied, "Let's just say, if the choice is between someone who's unpredictable and someone who's predictably corrupt, I'll choose the unknown variable every time." There it was. Jimmy grinned nervously. Okay, we're getting spicy now." He raised his mug. "To unpredictability." They both sipped. The audience clapped. But the air had shifted. Behind the applause, behind the lights, the internet was already typing, tweeting, recording. Elon Musk was just getting warmed up. By the time the first commercial break ended, something had changed in the studio. The air was denser. Jimmy Fallon, known for avoiding deep waters, looked like he was wading into a tide he couldn't fully predict. Elon Musk sat as calmly as before, but his eyes were sharper now. The brief smiles were fewer, his posture more commanding. It was no longer a casual interview of him. It was a chess match with a laughing crowd. As the cameras rolled again, Jimmy leaned forward with a playful, almost innocent grin. "All right, Elon, let's talk about something you're definitely not controversial about: the electric car industry." Laughter, Elon smirked. "Oh yeah, just smooth sailing. Everybody loves me, especially California regulators." Jimmy chuckled, then pivoted. "But seriously, there's been talk about boycotts. Activists say Tesla's become too political. Some are even linking you to You know who I'm talking about, Trump. Elon raised an eyebrow, pausing. Is that what they're calling it now? Political? To make cars that don't explode? The crowd laughed. Elon continued, with a casual sarcasm that sliced deeper than it seemed. You know, I never thought keeping free speech alive or refusing to fire engineers for liking the wrong tweets would become controversial. But here we are. Jimmy nodded, then jabbed. So you're not denying your political leanings? I'm denying that freedom is a leaning, Jimmy, Elon said, tilting his head. I don't care if someone votes blue, red, or Martian green. What I care about is whether they want a future where you can say what you think without being digitally exiled. The audience responded with a rare blend of cheers and uncomfortable applause. Fallon glanced at his producer off camera, then leaned into the tension. All right, let's go there, he said. You've called out the media. You've brought Trump back to Twitter. Sorry, X. You fired people who criticized you publicly. Doesn't that feel a little authoritarian for a free speech guy? A beat. Then Elon laughed. A dictatorship of logic. Scary stuff. Jimmy blinked. Firing people for attacking their own company in public isn't authoritarian. It's common sense. Try walking into NBC and calling your boss an idiot. See how long you last. The audience cracked up, but Fallon forced a grin. Elon didn't wait for another question. I think the real problem is people expect CEOs to behave like politicians. I'm not here to make everyone feel good. I'm here to make rockets that land and cars that work. Jimmy tried to retake control. Okay, but let's not pretend this is just about cars and rockets. You've inserted yourself into national debates, global ones too. People are asking, is Elon Musk becoming a political force? Musk leaned forward, eyes glinting. I didn't become anything. The vacuum of leadership made me visible. I didn't choose this. But when the people running things act like clowns, sometimes the engineer has to grab the wheel before the bus hits the wall. Silence. Audible gasps. Fallon stared, lips parted. Then laughter, loud and spontaneous. Applause erupted. Jimmy regrouped, smiling but tight-jawed. You're good at this. I get a lot of practice, Elon said, lifting his water glass. Every time I tweet. Fallon grinned, shifting tone. All right, let's cool it down before Twitter crashes again. Let's talk about AI. Sure, Elon replied. My second favorite apocalypse. More laughter. Jimmy continued. You've warned about AI for years. Now you're building your own with XAI. Aren't you just doing what you warned others not to do? Elon didn't hesitate. The problem with AI is the same as government. If you let the wrong people control it, you get tyranny. The only solution is transparency. Build it in the open. Make it safer than what's happening behind closed doors at OpenAI or Google. Fallon blinked. Did you just say OpenAI is unsafe? I said, they stopped being open. That's usually the first red flag. The crowd murmured. Fallon nodded slowly. Okay, last one before the next break. Real quick, Elon, Trump 2024, yes or no? Musk stared straight into the camera. I don't endorse candidates, but I'll say this. If the only way to stop someone is to rig the algorithm, silence the dissent, and rewrite history, maybe they're not the problem. The audience erupted. Fallon didn't even try to deflect. He just looked over at Musk with an astonished smirk. We need a commercial. The lights dimmed, the applause echoed, and Twitter imploded.